Welcome to today's market report.
European stocks closed higher on Wednesday as fresh signs of weakness in Asia economies were offset by hopes for more stimulus, while investors shook off concerns about rising inflation. After 7 straight months of gains, the Pan-European Stoxx 600 rose 0.5% to end at 473 points and was within striking distance of its record high of 476. Retail and travel and leisure stocks were the top sectoral gainers, rising 1.8% each. Air SAS gained 2.4% after reporting a smaller quarterly loss as air travel gradually picked up. Consumer-exposed sectors benefited from data that showed Eurozone unemployment fell as expected in July. Spain's Inditex, which owns fashion brand Zara, was among the best-performing retail stocks after JP Morgan forecast strong second-quarter results for the firm. The stock rose 3.1%. A survey showed Eurozone manufacturing growth remained strong in August, but supply chain issues drove up prices and fed into inflation, which could affect monetary policy in the near term. Investors were unsettled after data on Tuesday showed Eurozone inflation surged to a 10-year high in August, while as European Central Bank policymaker called on the banks to reduce its emergency bond purchases as soon as the next quarter. The bloc's banks continued to benefit from rising government bond yields. Elevated inflation in the US and Europe, weak retail sales in Germany, and a slowdown in China all suggest that the market should be factoring in a temporary slowdown in economic activity, according to Nordea Asset Management. What the market is focused on instead is that liquidity should remain very ample from the People's Bank of China to a slow pace of tapering from the Fed and eventually one from the ECB. Supermarket group Carrefour was the worst performer on the Stoxx 600, down 5.5% as luxury goods billionaire Bernard Arnault sold the 5.7% stake he owned in the company. French spirits maker Pernod Ricard rose 3.7% after it posted a stronger than expected rise in full-year operating profit, driven by a strong rebound in demand in China and the United States. French diagnostics specialist bioMérieux climbed 4.0% after it confirmed its full-year earnings target. On the FX front, GBP/USD is trading at 137.80 and between a low of 137.30 and a high of 137.98, having moved in on a critical level of dynamic daily resistance. US data has stripped the greenback of bullish bets midweek, with a terrible miss in the ADP National Employment Report that has shown private payrolls rising by 374,000 in August, well short of the 613,000 forecasts. The report is the first of a series of 3 highlighted jobs data for the week, and it's not a good start. On Thursday, the weekly initial jobless claims comes ahead of the most critical of the job data in the key government payrolls report for August, non-farm payrolls. The combination of the data will be weighed by investors as it could provide clues about the Federal Reserve's policy path. The Fed Chair Jerome Powell sounded a more dovish tone at the Jackson Hole on Friday, and the ADP report is pushing back expectations of a taper announcement at this month's Fed interest rate meeting. Wall Street has shared the sentiment of loose money conditions for longer, and the S&P 500 is on track to fresh all-time highs. Investors will be now focusing on Thursday's jobless claims and Friday's non-farm payrolls, which still have the potential to impress markets and support the prospects of a taper announcement in the near future. With that being said, Deutsche Bank US economists think that the pace of hiring will slow somewhat after the strong report in July. However, they said the 700,000 plus increase in non-farm payrolls that they are forecasting should be more than sufficient to keep the Fed on track to announce tapering at the November FOMC meeting. The Eurodollar rose further following US economic data, recently climbed to 118.57, the highest level since 5th of August. It remains near the top on its way to the 4th consecutive daily gain and the first close above the 55-day SMA since June. The combination of a slide of the US dollar across the board and a somewhat stronger euro boosted Eurodollar. The dollar index is testing the monthly low at around 92.4. The euro is also up versus the pound and Swiss franc after the ECB hawkish comment.
This is today's market news. Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.